let's talk definitions.
Okay.
Because stress...
Can I define stress, please?
Yes.
Because it's also a term that's become very commonplace. Even kids nowadays say, oh, I'm so stressed.
Yeah.
But do we really know what stress means? So stress is just any time your body, your mind, you feel overwhelmed by whatever the demands are.
Okay.
And you see, that could be, for example, a health stress. That could be lack of sleep, which is a physiological stress. It could be a financial stress. It could be a social stress, your partner has just broken up with you, or you're wondering where your relationship is heading. It could be grief, for example, what you were dealing with at that time that's been unprocessed. And you see, grief is not linear.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that if it happened 10 years ago, that
It's
now
done.
you should be fine like that. No, you'll still find ways to bring it about, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, regardless of the source of stress, our bodies typically respond in the same way.
Okay.
And that's going into the fight or flight response.
Okay.
And it's all about survival. Because you see, if you're being attacked from whatever quarter, you have to survive, right?
Even if it's emotional or if it's like
doesn't matter.
The same
fight or flight.
Okay.
Yeah. So if your stress is a toxic boss, you could manifest the same way as if, you've just lost your home. Yeah. Or one of your loved ones is fighting a terrible illness. Your body will say, we have to survive.
Yeah. And what does fight look like for the body, and what does flight look like for the body? Yeah.
Okay. So you'll find it's a process that's controlled by a number of hormones.
Yeah.
So mainly cortisol, mainly adrenaline, and another one we call noradrenaline.
Okay.
So it's your system kicking into, one, we have to figure out how to protect ourselves. So you'll find your brain telling your gut, instructing your gut, look, we need to get a lot of extra energy to be able to figure out whatever this is that is attacking us and how to handle it. Yeah. Do we want to flee by shutting down and hiding in our bed all the time?
That was me. Presence, yes.
We see you in the room.
Yeah.
Or is it that, we have to tackle it head on? But you see, regardless, this is an extraordinary circumstance, or at least it's supposed to be. So the problem we're seeing now is that with all of us facing chronic stress on a day-to-day, as opposed to just one big, acute, intense stress, is then we're activating our response every day, little by little. Yeah. So then your gut will be told, so get me energy. Where does your energy come from? It comes from your food, right? So everything in your digestive system will be geared to making sure we can get our glucose quickly once we've digested the food. So that's why you'll find people getting disruptions in the acid balance and starting to get reflux, heartburn, bloating, bowel movements, because there's a gut in action trying to figure out where can we get our energy and where can we get it quick.
Because it's an emergency.
Because it's an emergency. We are fighting for survival, right? And that's how cravings come in. So a lot of the women we see will come and say, I'm craving, and it's always sugar in your house.
Yeah.
You'll never crave spinach.
Yeah.
Because you see, by the time we're able to get enough glucose for you to survive from spinach, won't you have died from the thing that is attacking you?
And we're in a crisis, so it's quick things.
Crisis, quick,
yeah.
Right? So, but you find because of the disruption of the acid balance, and therefore sometimes we have a bit more gas in that tummy, and it's lying to the brain that, look, we're full, we don't need to eat. Some people then lose appetite.
I felt I lost, it was so strange.
Yeah.
This makes so much sense.
Yes, but other people will eat everything because your brain's saying, I need more, I need more, I need more energy, right? Yeah. We also see things like higher blood pressure. So people who are not even predisposed to high blood pressure and hypertension start getting higher and higher pressures. That's why if, say, we take your pressure when you're angry or anxious, because your body still went into the fight or flight, we might find a higher reading than usual. But you see, if we allow you to continue in whatever this chronic stress state is, then your body will normalize that high
That's
pressure.
the normal, because we've been at it for
a while. We know how to do this. Now, say in the background, there's a genetic predisposition towards the high blood pressure. Then can you see how 1 + 1, and suddenly it's been years and now we're telling you, oh, okay, Adele, now you're hypertensive, or now you're pre-hypertensive.
And we can't fully understand it. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so it's such a chain. And you see, all this arose from whatever that was stressing you, whether it was emotional, mental, physical, financial, all the above. Doesn't matter, right?
This is so interesting because I think we reduce the impact emotional stresses have.
Yes.
And I remember working in a toxic workplace and I kept on saying, why am I'm reacting as though someone is punching me every day, but like, but your body is just like, you're throwing up, you're sickly, and they can't find any symptoms, you know what I mean? Yes. And so it's quite interesting. I also feel like with stress culturally, we are socialized to think stress
equals productivity.
Yeah. Think about when we were kids. Like if in a typical African home, your parents find you relaxing after school.
No, stand up, go.
Go. I have to see you.
How come you slept for 2?
And then school has to be hard. Work has to be hard.
If it's easy.
Life has to be hard, And so I think we get confused then because we normalize stress as being a normal part, but it could be unhealthy. Is there any sort of healthy stress?
Yes, actually, we call it, what we aim for is something called eustress, where there's not too much negative stress and there's a bit of positive stress. Good stress looks like the thing that will motivate you to achieve results. So say, for example, there's a particular task you're working on and there's a deadline. That extra oomph that will push you to accomplish that. Or for example, with athletes, when we're saying, you had this record, try and break this record, so you're training a bit harder, but to get that. You see, that's a good stress because it's coming in with a lot of motivation. It's coming in with a completion of a task. There's an end to it.
It's not just like...
But the one we're all facing is the negative
It's the negative stress.
It's the negative stress.